The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
What is up? What is Earnestly Pass here on Friday edition of the podcast. Although I'm actually, just for people who don't know this, well, I'm sure you'll actually hear this. Record this actually late Thursday night, so drop on your feed on Friday morning. Actually meant to record this after the end, following the Bucks and Panthers Thursday night football game, but there was a rain delay, a weather delay, lightning delay, whatever it may be, which delayed the game almost an hour, and I can't wait an extra hour. Right now, as I'm recording, it's actually in the third quarter, and it's about almost 11 o'clock at night, and I cannot wait another hour to record this. I need to go to sleep. I got a big day tomorrow, and I need to function properly. So instead, I'll probably give my analysis on the game, most likely on the Sunday night, Monday morning podcast I do, where I recap, if I continue to do that going forward. But you'll get my thoughts there at some point early next week. But also today, our good friend as always, Gras, will be on the podcast in a little bit. We're going to talk about, he became a dad recently, and his beers. But the main thing, of course, is going to be Clash of Champions preview, WWE event this coming Sunday night. It's going to be kind of weird for me now because now I'm back watching WWE again for the first time in 17 years, as I've been saying all summer long. Now I got to juggle football and wrestling. And you have a pretty, I would say a pretty big early season Sunday night game between the Eagles and the Falcons. Falcons must-win situation. The Eagles are gonna. I think the Dallas Cowboys are really good this year. I think they're a Super Bowl contender. So I think Philly has to keep pace if they want to win the NFC East. So because of that, it's a really big game. The thing is, the Clash of Champions will be going on right around the same time. So I got to figure out what I want to watch first. Obviously, I can watch Clash of Champions later on at night, whatever. But again, that plus the podcast and all that, we'll figure it out. But we have G on the show in a couple minutes to discuss, preview each match on the card. So, like I said, we've been tweaking the format on this podcast much in the last week, doing cold opens like this, then a guest and whatnot. We're doing 2 to 3 a week, trying to do 3 a week as much as I can, definitely 2 a week. I didn't do this last week. I do post my picks. Obviously, we do the picks with each game with Zach on Wednesdays. But I also, in addition to that, I give out my gambling picks later in the week. And normally I post my gambling picks on social media the morning of the games. I pick 5 games that I like, guess the spread or over-unders or maybe. And that's about it. I'm going to start leaving them, and I did this last year a little bit on the show when I had a chance to. I'll leave them also on this podcast too every week. I'll leave them on the Friday edition of the podcast as long as I keep doing this format. So that being said, let's get to the picks real quick. My locks of the week. Of course, when you see the rest of my picks I had for the rest of the week, you can check out the last episode we did on the NFL Week 2 a podcast I did with Kyle, and then Zach and I, of course, doing our picks. So this week 2 is very interesting. We thought, and I think Zach had said initially that week 2 might be a little bit of a downer. I disagree with that. I look at some of these matchups here, and I see a lot of. It's only one game sample, but I had a hard time plucking out 5 games I really feel confident in because, again, you don't really know a team until you know a team. Probably about 4 weeks in, you start getting an idea of what a team looks like for the rest of the year. And it's a couple of teams. Obviously, New England's great. They're going to continue to be great. And some of the teams like Arizona and Detroit and all the sorry teams are going to be who they are going forward. But a lot of teams that came out the gate disappointing. The Browns on paper are supposed to be great. Steelers came out disappointing against the Patriots, and but we expect them to rise up at some point and sort of normalize their situation, at least. We'll see. But let's go for the games here. I like the first game of the 5 I'm going to pick here. I like the Chargers here. LA Chargers going to Detroit to cover 2.5 points. I think Detroit's, I know Detroit tied, against Arizona, but that felt like a loss. And I got to be honest with you. I think if you're looking at coaches on the hot seat moving forward, I know it's only the second year in, I think Matt Patricia is a guy you have to start looking at in terms of, is his job really safe as it is? Detroit, I mean, again, that's a big, I mean, it's a tie, but that you're up 24-6 in the fourth quarter. That's when the wheels start falling off. That's when confidence, players start losing confidence in your ability to coach. So I think the Chargers, of course, they're a lot to prove, of course. And, I know they lost Hunter Henry, for a little bit, but I like the Chargers here to win on the road and cover the spread 2.5 points. The next game here, the Arizona Cardinals, as mentioned a little while ago, they're going to Baltimore, west to east. Obviously, I like Baltimore in this game. Baltimore came out the gate, absolutely bonkers against the Dolphins, the worst team in football. 59-10. Now, obviously, that's not really who they are. I mean, I don't think they are. Someone's got to give. Arizona, obviously, they horrible first 3 quarters of the game against Detroit, then came back in the fourth quarter and almost won the game, actually, to be honest with you. And, in a tie, tie with Detroit Lions. And something's got to give here. I like Baltimore in this game, obviously, but that's a lot of points for an NFL team. I think Arizona can keep it, I don't say they keep it close, but I think Arizona on 13 points, I'll take Arizona points here. Baltimore probably by 10 points, like 31-21, but I don't think they'll cover 13.5 points this week. Somewhere in the middle, or maybe we can get cover by the Cardinals. The third game here I've chosen, which is actually the biggest spread of the week. That is the New England Patriots going to Miami to face the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are pretty bad. And part of me wants me to think, maybe they can cover. The Pats typically, they have horrors. Remember last year, the Miracle Miami last year. Which really didn't do anything for the season because they still won the championship, but won the Super Bowl. But the Pats historically do have problems in Miami, but I think that this will not apply this year because the Dolphins are that bad. I think the Pats are that good. To me, on paper, already the most balanced team in the league. This is probably the most balanced passing I've seen ever under the Belichick-Brady administration. So that being said, I'm going to take a gamble here. And I don't even think it's a gamble, to be honest with you. I think the Pats here will cover 18.5 points. I know a friend of mine actually got the game early at 16 when it opened up, and that was a steal. But I think that's will cover 18.5 points. The fourth game here on the list is probably the game of the week. Is the NFC title rematch between the Saints going to the Rams. Everybody's calling it a revenge game. I don't know how you can get a revenge game in week 2. That's kind of something ridiculous. But it's a big game for definitely conference supremacy going forward, home field advantage down the road, and all that. If these teams are to be on top of their conference this year, like they were last year, I like the over in this game. I think the over is very generous. To be honest with you, 53.5. That's actually to be honest with you, a very generous over point total. I'm curious what Vegas knows something that we don't know. So I'm going to take the Rams in Saints on the over at 53.5. And then finally, the Monday Night Football game. I'm going to take the Browns. I'm taking the Browns to cover 2.5 points over the Jets. The Jets are probably are not going to have Sam Darnold, who's out for a few weeks with mono. Le'Veon Bell might miss this week as well too. Another the receiver's out for the year. The Browns are seething. They need this win badly. I'll tell you what. If the Browns, with all the issues with the Jets right now with the injuries and whatnot, the Browns cannot win this game. This could be talk radio could be a pretty crazy next week. Not just in Cleveland, but also nationally in general, since this team is now a national attention. So again, my 5 games of the week are the Chargers to cover 2.5 points against the Lions, the Cardinals to cover plus 13.5 over the Ravens. Give me, of course, the Patriots 18.5 points. The cover in Miami, the over on the Rams and the Saints at 3.5, and then the Browns to cover 2.5 points against the Jets. This line should be moving. I think that this line should move at least to 4 points with the way this news coming up with the Jets. So we'll see what happens there. All right, what else I want to touch on before I got on bring G on the show? Team USA eliminated from the World Cup play, and the obviously basketball. I did watch one of the games against Turkey at the end of the game. Look, folks are pissed off about this. Obviously this team isn't as good as the past teams. This team had no continuity. Literally, we were having players leaving the team throughout the summer. They only had this team pretty much filtered in the last couple of weeks. They didn't lose Jason Tatum last week and a half ago with the ankle injury. We shouldn't be surprised here, number one. If anybody knows basketball, I mean, not only that, the international play has gotten much better the last decade, honestly. I mean, even if you bring in the big guns like LeBron and Giannis and guys like that to play Team USA, yeah, I would think Team USA will take care of business and win it. But I think we were also undermining just how better international play has gotten the last decade, even longer. I mean, look at the guys that have come to the league in the last 15, 20 years and become Hall of Famers. Ginobili and Dirk Nowitzki, guys like that. There's a lot of guys who are just very solid basketball players, who mid-tier guys that's still really good. That chemistry also plays a big deal. A lot of these teams have a lot of chemistry in comparison to the USA. I mean, again, the USA didn't even lock down the final roster until like probably days before the World Cup. People were leaving the team left and right. So I think people I think people underrate that situation, honestly. Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't be too surprised about that this happened. Obviously disappointing a little bit. I try to watch the games as I can, but because obviously it was in Japan, and the games were being played at Gungali hours of hours I didn't think I'd be able to watch them or whatever, early mornings, whatever. I missed games. I tried to prioritize as much as I could, but it's just hard to do that. But again, we shouldn't be too surprised about this. There's a lot of not unrest, but I guess there's a lot of instability rather, with Team USA this year. So you shouldn't be too surprised. So, also back to football real quick. A few days ago, got into a big discussion with a couple buddies of mine. One of my buddies, I actually mentioned on the podcast yesterday. Wednesday rather. My buddy Eric, who's a big Lions fan, and he cannot stand Matthew Stafford. And a couple weeks ago, him and I and a couple friends were at the bar watching the Gators Canes game, and we got into a discussion about Matthew Stafford and where do you rate him as a quarterback, top 5, whatever. I posed a question that night. Is Matthew Stafford a top 16 quarterback? Now, I think he is. Others, well, my buddies, not so much. He think his dog trash, all that. So it's been a question I've asked around the people who watch sports with me as well too, and I've gotten mixed reviews. I've got people saying he's definitely in the middle of the pack, but he's not top 16. Some say 18, 19, 17, whatever. So what I like always to do, what I like to do as always is, if you're gonna bring up these kind of topics and these kind of questions and answer these questions, let's actually answer the question with context. So let's go through the league of all the starting quarterbacks in the league right now, division by division, team by team, and see if Stafford's better than that quarterback. Now, let's start in the AFC East. AFC East, Patriots, Tom Brady. Obviously, Tom Brady's better. You take Tom Brady over Matthew Stafford. I think the other 3 quarterbacks in the division, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, not better than Stafford. So we got one quarterback in the AFC East better than Matthew Stafford, in my opinion. AFC North, I'll take Big Ben over Matthew Stafford. I wouldn't take Lamar Jackson yet over Stafford, but that could be maybe at the end of the year we're saying something different. I won't take Andy Dalton over Matthew Stafford. Baker Mayfield is actually interesting. It's actually pretty interesting. I would say yes. I'll take Mayfield over Matthew Stafford at this point. Now, I at best, they're probably a wash right now. I think Mayfield at this point has a better upside. And I think I'll take Mayfield over Stafford. AFC South, Deshaun Watson over Stafford. Obviously, that's not even a conversation. Well, obviously Nick Foles got hurt, but I still take Matthew Stafford over Nick Foles right now, even with the Super Bowl. Who else in the AFC South we have there? Tennessee Titans, Marcus Mariota. No, I'll take Stafford over Marcus Mariota. And then Jacoby Brissett, I'll take Stafford over Jacoby Brissett. So right now we got 4 quarterbacks right now, I believe right now are better than Matthew Stafford. Okay? AFC West. Pat Mahomes, that's obvious, over Matthew Stafford. Phillip Rivers, yes, over Matthew Stafford. That's 6 now. Derek Carr, I would have said Derek Carr, yes, definitely 2-3 years ago. Right now, I don't know. You know what? I'll take Derek Carr over Matthew Stafford at this point. That's 7. Joe Flacco, no. Joe Flacco's, to me, one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, honestly. And then who am I missing here? So you got the Raiders, you got the Broncos, the Chiefs, and Raiders, Broncos, Chiefs. I'm missing somebody else. Raiders, Broncos, Chiefs, and Chargers. Right now I got seven quarterbacks on Matthew Stafford. That's the NFC. NFC East. Carson Wentz, yes, over Matthew Stafford. Dak Prescott, that's tough because what you saw that game against the Giants on Sunday. I mean, if that's something, if that continues this year, I'm gonna say yes. Right now, I'll say no, just based on coming into the year, based on his past with the Cowboys. I mean, I was a solid quarterback, but I just think you put Dak in a worse situation like Stafford in Detroit, for example. I don't think Dak will flourish in Detroit in comparison to Matthew Stafford. So I'll say no for now, but I think by the end of this year we might be singing a different tune on that one. So right now I have 8. Eli Manning, now definitely Stafford over Eli Manning. And then the other team, the NFC East, Case Keenum, I'll take Stafford over Case Keenum. That's 8 now over Stafford with 12 teams to go. NFC, well, actually 11 teams to go because it counts his team. NFC North, Aaron Rodgers, obviously, or Matthew Stafford. Mitchell Trubisky, hell no. No. Kirk Cousins, I'm going to say no. Because Kirk Cousins has only benefited from having a really, really solid team in Minnesota. I'm going to say no on Kirk Cousins, to be honest with you. I'm in Matthew Stafford in Detroit, so that's 9 quarterbacks on Matthew Stafford right now. So right now, Matthew Stafford is a top 10 quarterback, not excluding the South, NFC South, and NFC West. Of course, I'll change in a second. So NFC South, the Saints, Drew Brees, obviously over Matthew Stafford. That's 10 now over Matthew Stafford. Looking at who else? Cam Newton, I'll take Cam Newton, Matthew Stafford. That's 11. James Winston, no. Not on Matthew Stafford. Who was the other team? Matt Ryan, I'll take Matt Ryan on Matthew Stafford. That's 12 quarterbacks over Stafford right now. Okay? So now we go to the NFC West. Russell Wilson, absolutely on Matthew Stafford. Jared Goff, I would say yes at this point, Matthew Stafford. That's 14. Jimmy Garoppolo, Matthew Stafford, nope. And then Kyler Murray, no. So right now, Matthew Stafford is a top 16 quarterback in the league based on my, whatever science I'm going to put, call it. All right, so Matthew Stafford is a top 16 quarterback. He's number 15 in my list of quarterbacks in the league. And that's how you run through it. You go head to head. Each quarterback, is he better than this guy? Now there's guys in that list too also that I believe can change the conversation. Like if Dak has a great year, continues to have a great year going forward, I'm going to say yes to Dak Prescott or Matthew Stafford. I might say yes to Garoppolo. We turn things around this year. So he's definitely in the middle of the pack. I think Stafford, what we forget is that with the Lions, if he wasn't on the Lions the last couple of years, especially, this team would not be even in the conversation of being close to 500. Without Matthew Stafford, they're probably a 2-14 ball club. At least with Stafford, you don't fall off the cliff. At least with Stafford, you are at least a 6-8 win team. Detroit is somewhat respectable that plays in a tough division in a tough conference. I think we need to kind of respect that. That's all. So, anyway, here is G.W. Gras as we talk. Him becoming a father, his Bears in 2019, and of course, we're going to preview Clash of Champions for this weekend. Here we go. All right, on the line with us, of course, as we always, once a month, come in now with any wrestling big event coming up. Every monthly event, we call them up. But also, we got a lot to talk about here, too. GW, of course, on the line with us. GW, on Twitter. G is a new father as of last month. G, how's that going for you?
It's easy.
Really?
It really is. I don't know. Maybe I just got a good kid. I don't know. I mean, he cries in the night. But, I told people, I was kind of prepped for this for years because I really don't sleep well anyway. So, it's either my kid's going to wake me up at 2 o'clock in the morning because he's crying or I have night terrors. Either way, I'm waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. So, but even then, he's been pretty good. I got lucky with that. As of now, at least. I mean, he's only 2.5 weeks old.
Right.
But yeah, it hasn't been bad. I enjoy it.
Have you felt a difference in your life a little bit? Is it still the same as just having a +1 now in home really?
The only thing that's messed up is I've only gone to the gym maybe 3 times in the last 2 weeks.
Oh boy!
I'm the kind of person that goes to the gym.
If anybody knows G,
Yeah,
G is a daily guy. He's a daily
pretty
guy.
important. Yeah, it's really important for you to go. I go like 5 or 6 days a week, easy. So the fact that I've only gone 3 days, and I didn't even go 2 days that I really went to the gym. The third day I just worked out in the house. You know, but yeah, that's the only thing. But I figure like, you know, I may have to sacrifice that for another month until I get going into a groove. So it is what it is.
Is it possible that we may have a fatter GW Gras by 2020?
No.
No. Just like we did with Roslyn last month. It's the same thing. I'm going to quiz July whenever we last spoke with Roz. Yeah, same thing with the health issue. You're going to try to figure it out to stay healthy as much as possible, even with the little change in the lifestyle, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like you know, a lot of people kind of prepping like me for the worst, which I hated, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever, like I don't know, like everybody's oh, how is it? I'm like fine. They're like, oh, really? But like I said, I think a lot of it, like me and my wife, is the kind that wakes up a lot during sleep too. Like both of us don't sleep well. You know that
really?
For me, it's my work schedule and just I'm always like, yeah, I shouldn't sleep well either. So like I remember we were up at like 3:30, whatever, with this kid one night, and she was like, "How do people who normally operate on 7 to 8 hours of sleep deal with this?" You know, like those are the people that must really suffer. The people that get a quote unquote good night's sleep, they must suffer so bad for it. Because me and her, like last night, he woke up twice. Woke up like at 1:30 and 3 o'clock. I just jumped out of bed and got him. Like I really don't care. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, I mean. There's some truth to that, actually. If you don't really sleep much as it is, or at least are used to having shorter sprints of sleep, you could probably adjust well to this lifestyle change. I know my wife and I, for the most part, we were night folks anyway, and we would always get up in the middle of night times, just, whatever. So it wasn't a total shock to us to some degree. But it is what it is. So... All right, let's again. Congrats to you and Christine, number one. I mean, we're here. You're a dad. It's really quite. People listen to this podcast for the last 8 years, and been in great shape to know who G is. Obviously, through the years from the radio show, from this podcast, and to see where you're at now. Married with a kid. I mean. If you told me 2015,
mind-blowing.
If you had told me 2015 that this is what we're going to be at by the end of this decade, I would have said, get the fuck out of here. That's not going to happen. G's his own guy. He does what he wants. Nope. Straddle up, buddy. It's going to be a fun ride. When's the next one? When's the next kid coming?
We talked about that. I was holding him one time. And, you just have your moments where you're just like, shit, I'm like in love with this kid, you know? Mm-hmm. We had the moment you just look at him. And she has it because she's already, like, obsessed with it's a mother-son thing. They already got that connection. It's already over for me. It's, like, 100% done, But, like, I looked at him, and I was like, dude, do you even want to have another kid? Like, I don't think I can love anything like I love this kid. Yeah. she was like, even if I could, I don't think I want to love it anything more. I was like, I know. I was like, how do people with more than one kid do it?
That was, it's funny.
How do you love it? How do you have so much love in you?
What's funny because, like, for me anyway, it was kind of funny because with Eli, our firstborn, and granted, it hasn't changed much. He's a mama's boy. He's more of a mom. A lot had to do with the schedule too. She stayed home at the time when we had the first one, so he's close to mom. Whereas Logan is all me. That's my boy. That's like my partner. I'm not saying I favor one or the other, but it does. Dynamics do change sometimes though with multiple kids. So
like I have it in my head. She could have him now for the first 10, 11 years. But after that, he's going to slowly convert to me. He's going to want to know about girls. He's going to want me to teach him how to dribble with both hands. All that stuff, he'll be back on my side. And then when he's like 18, 19, he goes right back to her for the rest of his life.
How you going to do that with all your back issues? I'm joking. I didn't mean to go there. Anyway.
It's going to be an interesting ride. And it's going to be my kid, so this kid could be really, really insane. So, I don't know.
That's exactly why. That's why I was actually, curious, boy or girl. I thought you would have a girl, honestly. I thought you would have a girl.
So did I. I mean, I was hyped for it too. I wanted a little girl, but it was funny because I've always said in fatherhood, I always wanted a girl over a boy, and mostly because I love that father-daughter relationship. It looks like the most adorable thing in the world, you know. But as soon as he was born, I was like, I looked at her, and I was like, thank God we don't have to worry about raising a girl. It was like, holy shit, thank God, I don't have to deal with none of that worry. You know, it's like, when it's a boy, you really like, just don't do drugs, don't hit women, man. You'll be all right, you know?
Why do you think I'm not so worried about my life? You know, because even though my boys are tough now, they get older, they do what you gotta do, you know what I mean? Just to stay out of trouble, you know,
Exactly.
don't get anybody pregnant, you know, things of that nature.
Exactly.
You know, and I can ease into my retirement, you know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it. All right, so let's move on to your real quick. I know we're going to talk about Clash of Champions in a second. But I want to talk about the Bears real quick. Obviously, Bears fans hate me because I put up my predictions a couple weeks ago, over-unders. I basically said that, I think they'll come back to earth a little bit. Not terrible, obviously, but my defense was the NFC's gotten better. The division will probably be better this year and all that nature, obviously. And in last week's game, week moved from last week's opener, I mean, the defense obviously is phenomenal. Best in the league. Ain't close. But Trubisky, man, that was my problem. That was why I couldn't put the Bears in the Super Bowl conversation. That guy. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not one of these Bears fans that blindly just supports Trubisky, especially when it's been beaten to the ground. The Bears traded up, could have had Watson or Mahomes, and I love Watson. Like, Watson is probably my favorite player to watch right now. Like, it's a shame that he lost that game against the Saints, because he deserved to win that game against the Saints on Monday night. That's another story for another day. But I think Watson could have MVP caliber year. It just killed me. You see what Mahomes did with Andy Reid, which was a similar offense, and you see what he did. And I think Watson's the kind of athlete that could play in any kind of offense, honestly. I think Watson's that special. So we get Trubisky, the guy who had 1 year starting at UNC, all right, let's do it. But whatever. I think a lot of it has to go on Nagy. A lot of it, I would probably say 65 to 35% blame, 35% Mitch, 65% Nagy, maybe even more, because Nagy's play calling is just, we talked about this on the Bears Brawl podcast, which you can find on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. It's just, I think Nagy suffers from excessive pride, hubris. If any of you guys ever took Caesar, that was always the central theme, is hubris. I think Nagy's just stubborn. When you have a Pro Bowl running back, you went out and signed a Mike Davis, who I loved and was all on board for the Bears to sign. Then you move up to get the guy I predicted the Bears to get in the third round, Montgomery, and you run the ball 12 times? Especially when your quarterback is struggling. You have your quarterback throwing the ball, 44, 45 times for 5 yards a carry? 5 yards a pass? That's just being very, very stubborn. And putting your quarterback in a terrible situation. Because and let's be honest, there's been the best when Mitch looks the best when they're in no huddle and he's just slinging it. That when you give Mitch too much time to think, he overthinks. And if you overthink as a quarterback, that's your worst enemy. And I keep going back to that last drive in the Philadelphia game where with the double doink. If you look at Mitch on that last drive, poised and perfect, in the most clutch position he ever had to be in.
Right.
So I think that, and also I think if Mitch isn't the guy, then Nagy's been blowing smoke up everybody's ass because he's the one saying, "Oh, Chicago, you got somebody special. It's my fault. I didn't give him the whole playbook." It looked like you didn't give him the whole playbook still. It looked like the same Bears. The play that pissed me off the most was 3rd and short. You go in shotgun, hand it off to a wide receiver.
Well, I would put money that he's one was smoke with your ass because number one, that wasn't his guy. That was a John Fox draft for Trubisky. So
it's really Ryan Pace. It's really Ryan Pace.
Right, that too. Right. Well, of course, but that wasn't
Ryan Pace's guy. So
it wasn't Nagy's guy. In other words, and he has to, they got to stick it out for the next another 2 years with this guy.
But in the same breath, he decided to be the head coach of his Bears, knowing that was the quarterback he was going to have to deal with.
Hey, 112 games.
He knew that. He knew that coming on. He knew that coming on. That this was Pace's guy. This is who you had to work with. Do you like this guy enough to be coaching this team? He agreed to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it sucks as a Bears fan because once again, it's like a curse of the Bears of just having a great defense and an offense holding back the defense. And this year, that shouldn't be the case because, and I'm not saying this as a Bears fan, but on the offensive side of the ball, this is the most talent I've seen on a Bears offensive roster ever.
I can actually agree with you. I can actually agree with you on that one.
Yeah, and I'm just talking talent-wise because we have a lot of youth. I mean, Anthony Miller should be on the field all the time. The fact that they didn't get the ball in his hands once is embarrassing. You know, you had Javon Wims, had a great preseason, didn't get the ball in his hands once. You know, and Mitch is just staring down A-Rob, who was great, but give me a break. You have so much talent, man.
And to be fair, I'm not ready to just say, okay, I'm done with Trubisky after one game, you know, and two other seasons. I'm not ready to go there because again, and I was telling Kyle this on the show yesterday, you know, that you know you do see flashes of potential greatness here. Last year saw a lot of that, but it's the whole putting it all together into one common ground alongside that. Like if you're gonna win a Super Bowl or be in a conversation to win a Super Bowl, especially in today's NFL, today's NFC, and how it is this year. You got to be consistent more than the other way around. And with Trubisky, you're still seeing the things that made you realize why didn't you draft Watson or Mahomes.
And that's going to be the story forever. You know, like those three are always going to be linked together. The Bears could be the next Sam Bowie. You know, I mean they really could. I mean it could turn to something that bad only because Mahomes and Watson, pending any injuries, could be two of, like, the greatest of this generation. You know, like, literally. Like, Mahomes may light up at every record book and shatter Marino's numbers if he keeps this up. You know?
Right.
And so, and Watson, I think, is just next level good, as I said before. So, I mean, Mitch, and I've said it before, Mitch doesn't even have to be next level good, EJ. He just has to be average. I've told everybody, Alex Smith could win this team a Super Bowl if Alex Smith was the quarterback of this team.
Right. Well, that being said, you sort of touched on it. Not you didn't touch on it, but you sort of came close to touching on it because this is like back to the Deshaun Watson thing, and you being amazed what he did on Monday and just being who he great in general. I did my top 6 quarterbacks of the league, you know, a couple weeks ago on the show, and I had Watson in there as a top 6 quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
And that's with a bad offensive line. Now I've been in a debate with people on social media the last week or so. People at work, or maybe, talking about Drew Brees. And the question I asked was, is Drew Brees entering 2019 a top 5 quarterback? Not about career, not about the last 4 years, just right here, right now, in this moment, before, and this is before the game on Monday, for the record. And I said, no, he's still a top 10 guy, maybe even number 6. But top 5, the way he tailed off last year, end of the year, I said no. Where are you out on the Drew Brees argument?
Yeah, I got him top 10, not top 5. If you saw the way he tailed off at the end of the year, I think the age kind of caught up to him last year because all the numbers slowed up towards the end of the season. Mm-hmm. Remember, at the beginning of the season, they were lighting up people up 35, 40 points. End of the season, those games were really close, and they weren't putting up that many points. You know, and that's not a knock to him. I mean,
that's the schedule.
I'm pretty sure he's still younger than me. So that's not a knock on him. But it's a matter of, like, it's just going up to him, and the 16-game season, the 4 months, is going to take a strain on him. But still, what keeps him in that top 10, and what you can't take away from him, is he's still, honestly, I think he's probably top 3 smartest quarterbacks in the league, and that's what, that's what keeps the guys like him and Brady afloat, because they're just smarter than every other quarterback.
But physically speaking, they're not nowhere as good as the other guys you mentioned. And okay, if you want to give Breeze number 5 by virtue of Andrew Luck retiring, then whatever. I'm not ready to go there either, honestly.
I don't think I had Andrew Luck in the top 5 anyway.
Oh, you did? Well, I had him in top 5.
I don't think I had
top 6, whatever.
I never had him in top 5 because what's that thing? Availability is the most important thing.
That is true.
Never around. I mean, because I thought he was gonna get hurt this year anyway. I mean, honestly, because that's what I got expected from him, and I'm not wishing it on him, but like I remember I was on EJ and Kyle and EJ and TJ's. Sorry, Kyle and TJ's podcast last year, and we were talking about first round bust. And I said honestly, Andrew Luck's gonna be a first round bust. Like, how can you say that? I'm like, yo, he doesn't play. like, granted, I understand what he did his first 3, 4 years. He doesn't play. Yeah. You know, I don't know what to tell you guys, and that's even worse. To see how great you can be and then just never play. You know. So,
and again, all blame goes to Ryan Grigson, and that's the party line. I'm okay with it.
Let me tell you, the Colts did that to themselves. That's why I don't. And when it comes, I mean, I'm not here to tell about Andrew Luck. I mean, you do what you want to do in your life. You're not comfortable in a situation, you get out. That's just a rule of life. You know, you're not comfortable, you're not happy, you get out. You know, doesn't matter. If you're not happy in a marriage, you get out. You know, if you're not happy, you get out. You know, and the Colts wasted good years of Andrew Luck because they never wanted to draft right and never gave him good free agents. And now that they finally have a team, he's like, nah, I'm done.
Yeah, I do think that last injury he had, that mystery calf, ankle, whatever it was, it did him in. I think it really just mentally fucked him, honestly.
Yeah, and it sucks though, because for years, remember, he didn't have an offensive line, man.
Yeah.
You know, and he was literally just throwing the ball up to T.Y., like, please. Mm-hmm. Please, bail me out. They never gave him a running back.
Right.
You know, the Trent Richardson project was disgusting, and I don't believe in Marlon Mack. I mean, give me a break. Like, really, they never gave him anything, this poor guy.
Right. Now, real quick, it's week 2, obviously, but given the NFC where it's at right now and the potential I see, I mean, I think in Denver for your Bears, that's a must-win.
Yeah, that's a must-win for both games. And once again, we broke it down the Bears' role yesterday. The similarities between these two teams are, like, startling because they both are orange, white, and blue, just different shades of orange and blue. You know, and they pretty much are the same thing. There's a lot of talent on the offense of the Broncos. People don't see this because they never had a quarterback since Peyton Manning was gone. You know, but they got 3 stud wide receivers out there because yes, Deshaun Hamilton. If they give him the ball, he's a playmaker. You know, they got 2 running backs. They got the bruiser and the splash guy, and Lindsey and Royce. I don't want to say flash guy, but at least the versatility, the receiving back and Lindsey. You know, they got talent there. You know, as do the Bears on offense. But they're talking about 2 top 5 defenses. You know, but the thing is, though, Flacco has been probably the worst quarterback in the league for the last 8 years, and no one talks about. No one ever wants to talk about Flacco and how terrible he is. You know, and I honestly think he's held the Ravens back from winning another Super Bowl. Because the Ravens have had great defenses in the last 4 or 5 years. You know, The Ravens have had stacked defenses. He stinks. He's just a bum. You know, and John Elway should be on his way out after this year because this is a terrible signing.
He's gotten a lot of leash. John Elway's got a lot of leash the last 5 years.
He does, and it's bullshit. You know, it's like, oh, I got Peyton Manning. Oh, great, you got the greatest quarterback of all time to play 1 year for you guys. Like, get out of here. You know, like, it's a matter of, like, going back to the game itself, both of these teams are 0-1, and they're looking up in the division. The Bears, it's a lot more on them because this game right here holds a lot more to the Bears than the Broncos, I think, because we're talking about Mitchell Trubisky and where he's going to end up down the line this season.
Right.
Flacco is what he is. I mean, I don't think Flacco gives a shit, to be quite honest with you, because he never looked like he does care, you know? But for Mitch Trubisky and the Bears, I mean, it's a tricky game. It's a 2.5-point spread.
Yeah, because again,
the over-under.
I mean,
I tell everybody, I love the under in this game. You know, the under in this game is 40, which is low. I think the final score is like 14-12 or something like that. You know, honestly. Mm-hmm. And if the Bears do lose, then maybe Nagy starts running the ball more. Maybe Nagy stops being cute.
Well, Nagy has a lot of equity because winning Coach of the Year last year, so he can do these things now. Because when you get a lot of equity, you get less space to be creative a little bit.
You know what's funny? Everybody says, "Oh yeah, he was Coach of the Year." You know, how are you going to question the Coach of the Year? I'm like, let's not be stupid. We had the best defense in the league. Offense still wasn't putting up 30 points a game, and he's the offensive guy.
That's a good point.
Yeah, he was Coach of the Year because his record and where the Bears were previously. But let's not be stupid. We brought him here to be an offensive-minded coach. The Bears have been looking for an offensive-minded coach now for the last 10 years. You know, the John Fox thing was just some nonsense, just to get us through a hump after Trestman. But Trestman was brought here to be an offensive guru. Failed. They brought Nagy from the Andy Reid tree, where you have Andy Reid and you have Doug Peterson already got a Super Bowl. But we need to see more than you hanging a trophy over your fireplace mantle, Nagy. We need you to come to Chicago and put together an offense because Ryan Pace is giving you the talent.
Right.
So now you got to put it together.
Right. Okay, let's go to the reason we're here, actually. That is this weekend's Clash of Champions WWE pay-per-view event. Not a bad card, actually. You look at it. Obviously, Clash of Champions, every title up for grabs on this pay-per-view. Let's go to the first match here. I'm going to assume that you and I don't care about this again. Drew Gulak, probably going to be on the kickoff show, most likely, against Humberto Carrillo. It's a three-way match, actually, against Lince Dorado for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. I forgot that there's a Cruiserweight Championship still that exists in WWE.
Yeah, they're doing a terrible job with that Cruiserweight, and it's really just like, it's pretty much just a dark match. Because you know what sucks about the championship of the Cruiserweight? You don't even know, like, first of all, you forget who the Cruiserweight champion is, and you don't even know what the beef is. You know?
No.
You have no idea what the story is with these guys.
Yeah, it gets little to no TV time, that's why.
Live, yeah, unless you watch 205 Live, which a lot of people don't, because a lot of people don't want to see 5-foot wrestlers, you know? I mean, it's really just one of those things where no one's watching it. You named, it sounds like a UFC card, because I never know the fighters, and I can barely pronounce the names on a UFC card.
If I'm WWE, and maybe they're going to do this, I will throw these guys on NXT. Like, throw these guys on, because they'll be on TV now. They're going to have the red brand Raw, they're going to have the yellow brand NXT, and the blue brand SmackDown. Throw these guys on NXT.
Yeah.
You know?
They got to do something. Cause, at the end of the day, you know what sucks though about it? They're actually great athletes.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, you see a couple of, you see like a Chad Gable come in, you know, the other guy's got his name right now, the black dude who does that lumbar break thing.
Center?
Yeah, you know, these guys are good. They're great athletes, but I don't know. It's not as exciting to watch these.
Well, Chad Gable's getting, I don't know if you saw, he's going to be in the King of the Ring final against your boy Baron Corbin next week.
Yeah, that's a great way to ring in King Corbin's era.
Sounds so good. Doesn't it sound good? And by the way, the King of the Ring final will not be on the pay-per-view. It will be on Raw on Monday. I had thought they would do it, but it's fine.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I used to like that the King of the Ring was a pay-per-view. Like,
me
there
too.
was always the semifinals. Yeah, the semifinals. Right? I was talking to my friend. I'm pretty sure the semifinals were at the King of the Ring pay-per-view, and the last match was the King of the Ring match.
That's correct.
Right?
It was. Yes.
Yeah. That's why, and I always liked that. You know, because they always like, oh, he hurt his leg in the first match. It was always some nonsense. You know, but I was kind of disappointed that they brought it back. Everybody wanted it, but they kept it just for Raw and SmackDown.
What I understood for years, Vince was never a fan of the King of the Ring being on. He's not really a fan of tournaments necessarily either, and certainly not King of the Ring being a whole pay-per-view. But, you know, there is a desire for that too. So maybe next year they consider it. I don't know. We'll see. All right, this match.
The fans seem to be into it.
Oh, the fans love it. The fans absolutely love it. No doubt about that.
The fans love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm telling you, it's gonna be King Corbin.
Oh yeah, and it should be King Corbin. It's a great ring, and that's dude. We'll discuss it. Oh, I mean, Baron Corbin to me could be the biggest heel in the entire company. He should be.
Absolutely. I get you and me discuss like the way I love Baron Corbin. He's great in the ring, great on the mic, loves being hated, loves it. You know,
and he trolls so well too. He's a great troll. He goes
he's great. Even the way he won the triple threat was such heel fashion.
Yes.
He didn't cheat. It was just a real snaky way to win it. You know, I just think he's great, and the fans have that love hate because they love booing him.
Yeah.
You know, the fans don't want to see him win. So it's a great thing they have going, and I'm glad they got him back on TV because I honestly think they ruined a lot of momentum he had going into that mixed tag match. You know, because after he put his finishing move on Becky, I thought that was the super heel move of all time. You know,
they never capitalized on it either.
No, never. I was like, come on, that was one of the best things I've ever seen.
Yeah. By the way, a flashback to like 6 years ago when we first met. Remember when I told you like Victor Cruz way back when? And I gave you.
That was the first podcast I think we ever did together. Yeah.
Yes, right. I see Ricochet and it reminds me of you. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've gotten that so much lately. It's like hilarious.
Oh, you've gotten that. So that is accurate. Okay.
Oh yeah, I've gotten it a lot. Yeah, I've gotten it a lot. And it's funny because I like Ricochet, but I think he's so corny on the mic. I think he just never speak. You know,
he's your typical babyface.
But somebody on Twitter said, and dude, I was dying laughing. And I don't want to offend anybody. EJ, you can edit it out. I just thought it was funny the way he said it. Some guy who doesn't even follow me. I have no idea who he was. He said, anyone ever tell you look like that Ricochet?
Oh, no.
I was dying. I thought it was the funniest thing anybody ever told me. I was like, Jesus, man, Twitter is a dangerous place, man.
Yeah. It's successful,
yeah,
dude.
I've gotten that before, though. I've gotten that before.
All right, the Intercontinental Championship on the line is Shinsuke Nakamura versus The Miz. I'm actually interested in this match. I like Nakamura a lot, actually. I like the whole vibe he has. Can't speak English, just kind of weird, all that. The Miz is kind of like middling to mid-card status, but I guess this is an attempt, also, in my opinion, to kind of get some love back on the IC title. Like, I'm an IC title guy. I felt for years, since the Attitude Era, actually, that they've not prioritized the Intercontinental Championship.
Now, the IC belt, I forget for the IC title how. Remember, when Shinsuke won it, it was like before the pay-per-view.
Yeah, he did.
You know, it wasn't even like part of the pay-per-view. It was part of like the kickoff show, whatever you want to call it. You know, which is embarrassing. Like, and yeah, I'm with you. I like Shinsuke because he's a little offbeat. You know, I like that he's like in his own world, and I actually like the fact Sami Zayn is kind of like his cheerleader because I think Sami Zayn's one. Yeah, I think he's one of the best on the mic. Sami Zayn that they have.
I'm glad you said that.
Like in the ring, he's not bad either, but he's better as the antagonizer.
I'm glad you said that, G, because real quick, because when I started watching wrestling again this summer, when I saw Sami Zayn for the first time, I swore to God I thought he was a manager or advocate.
Yeah, because I even like when he was with Kevin Owens, I thought it was like a great teaming, you know. But and like the Miz, like you said, he's kind of meddling, and I think the belt should still go to Nakamura, because like Miz as a face just isn't working for me.
Really?
You know, yeah, I can't write. When Miz was a heel, I loved him. I thought he was one of the best. I think the fans loved him as a heel. And then when he did that whole beef with Shane McMahon thing, I think that kind of killed him. You know, he looked like an idiot with Shane McMahon. You know, and then like he couldn't, and then of course they can never let him beat Shane McMahon.
Yeah,
you know,
of course. Best in the world. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, you know, and then Shane McMahon is another thing. But yeah, I think I'd rather see Nakamura and the Sami Zayn thing kind of take off a little bit more.
Yeah, I think Zayn's in the right spot, being like an advocate / manager or whatever. The voice, phenomenal. He's great. I mean,
and it's good because Nakamura can't really communicate.
No.
So it's good to have Sami Zayn, who's probably the biggest mouth on the roster.
Yeah, he's
you know, advocating for him.
He's great.
You know, I think that's great.
You get I'm crazy saying this, like he reminds me of Bobby Heenan a lot.
Yeah,
That's what he says.
Like I think Sami Zayn may have another niche in his company doing this. I think it's great.
Right.
You know, and they tried doing that with Paige being the manager to the other two Asian women, but that didn't really kick off well.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Nakamura winning this match, honestly. I mean, I like The Miz, but the best Miz ever was on Real World Battle in New York, but that's just me.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
I like Miz when he was on Raw and he was the heel Intercontinental Champion. I thought that was when he was at his peak.
Right. Okay, next one here. The next match, tag team titles, women's tag team titles on the line. Alexa Bliss against Nikki Cross versus Fire and Desire, your girl Mandy Moore and Sonya Deville.
Mandy Moore or Mandy Rose? You called her Mandy Moore.
Oh my God, that's Mandy Moore? Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
Moore. Wow. I apologize about that. Mandy Rose. This got some heat this past week on SmackDown. You see Mandy Rose calling out Nikki Cross, calling her a rat and all that stuff. I was like, whoa, some heat here.
Yeah, she's great. She's great.
Hey, but I got mad though because I love Mandy Rose. Don't get me wrong, but Nikki Cross is adorable. Leave her alone.
She is adorable, but it's like she's adorable because of the way she acts. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
I actually like the layers to this match because all four of these women are kind of intriguing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Alexa, you can just tell, is like the teacher's pet for the women's division. They always, even if she's not on the belt, she's always on TV. Like Vince takes a lot of heat on social media, but she can wrestle. She's a great athlete.
You know, Fire Desire should have
in the ring. I love.
These two teams didn't meet 2 weeks ago on SmackDown. I do think Fire Desire should win this match, but I don't think they will. I think Bliss and Cross will win this one.
Yeah, I think the fans are so behind. Let me say, and the thing I love about Alexa hasn't changed her demeanor at all.
Nope.
And the fans just started liking her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like she was the bratty, spoiled brat heel. She still acts that way. She still cries when she loses. And people, when her music plays, let me tell you, the crowd doesn't go wild for a lot of the females. They don't. And it's a fucked up thing. They don't. Alexa's music come on, and they go nuts for Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And that's girls and guys going nuts for Alexa. So that's Nikki Cross has the fans' heart because she's that go-getter, the tough little girl. Like they just like the way she is, and she's dedicated to Alexa. The other two are such in a world on their own. When I'm talking about Sonya and Mandy,
right?
And on one side, Mandy could be like the bad girl heel that everybody loves to hate because she looks great and she's good enough in the ring to carry a match. Like Mandy has all that going for her, and at the end of the day, Mandy doesn't even really need this. I think she's doing so much more outside of wrestling.
Right.
I think she's kind of using this to leverage herself and other realms. Sonya Deville is interesting to me because on the low, Sonya Deville is really pretty.
Yes, she is.
Right. Sonya Deville, I think she's so pretty, Sonya Deville. But she dials herself up as the bully, kind of, to Mandy Rose. It's a great like oxymoron kind of thing they have going on there.
Yeah.
But Sonya Deville, I think, has potential to be a title holder by herself. I think she's a great athlete, great in ring. Has to work on her mic skills, and like I said, I think she's beyond pretty. I think she's beautiful, and WWE could do a lot if they wanted to push her because of the game move right there. Like that would be something so forward thinking of WWE that no one would have saw 20, 30 years ago with them, and Sonya Deville's built her following on that. Like, if you follow her on Twitter, it's kind of amazing. Like, people would tell her they have come out to their family because the way she is about her sexuality and she doesn't hide it, I mean, she's like a hero to a lot of these wrestling viewers. So it'll be interesting to see. At the end of the day, I think Alexa keeps the belt because Alexa is, out of all those four, the main one right now. And I think Vince likes Alexa with a belt. And it keeps her,
and let's keep her a little bit relevant too, because right now the top of the women's division right now with Charlotte and Becky and Bayley.
Exactly. With the four horsewomen, there's no room for anybody else right now.
Exactly. I agree with you on that.
Which is kind of fucked up,
Yeah, but it gives her something to kind of spark some light on her. All right.
And like I said, like for Mandy and Sonya, they'll have their opportunities down the line.
Of course, absolutely. All right. SmackDown Tag Team Champions on the line as the New Day takes on the Revival. New Day hasn't been on TV in 2 weeks because of the Randy Orton and New Day Revival attacks. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm game. You know what is with New Day? And I like New Day's actually really talented. So is Revival. I just think Revival's corny.
Wait, they're corny? Really? They're corny? They're old school brainbusters type of, old school 1989 brainbusters type of.
I think that's why.
Top guys.
Like whatever.
They're the antithesis of the New Day. That's why they're the antithesis. They're the opposite. Less flashy.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, both of them are talented. Like, New Day's great. I'm getting kind of tired of New Day, the whole New Day movement. I'm getting kind of tired of it, but I understand why it still works. I really actually hope Revival wins the belts, just because it'll be different, because New Day always has the belts. So I would like a clean cover by Revival over here.
I can see a New Day keeping it one more month, and then maybe have a rematch at Hell in a Cell, maybe. And then maybe change the title at that point, because there's still juice in this rivalry. Okay. That's for sure. All right.
And the reason why there's juice is that they carry on great matches. That's
absolutely.
Why there's juice. Fans still go crazy.
Absolutely,
matches,
no doubt. This match has got added this week actually to the roster, which is AJ Styles against Cedric Alexander for the U.S. title. I just found out today that it's Paul Heyman that's giving the push to Cedric Alexander right now.
Makes sense.
I
like that, but I couldn't remember his name earlier, but yeah, Cedric Alexander is great. His lumbar break or whatever, that thing is crazy. I love that move.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a good way for him to have more than just like talk show opening for a pay-per-view, Cedric. Right. And he's going against AJ Styles, who both of these guys can carry matches with anybody. AJ's one of the best in the business.
Yep.
And I think this is going to be one of those where the fans are going to get really behind Cedric, but AJ pulls it off at the end, because I can't see AJ losing to Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
I just can't see them, because AJ's one of their main players.
Yeah,
like, he's not going to lose to Cedric Alexander. But remember, he already lost to Ricochet, So, like, how many times are you going to make AJ Styles lose enough to covers? That's not a good look. AJ Styles still has to be dominant in this thing. So, and I love AJ with a title, kind of like Alexa. I think WWE wants AJ with a title of some sort. So, yeah, I think AJ wins this in a really, and probably, and it's not surprising to say, AJ Styles will probably have the match of the night That's pretty much what he does. And I think this will be the match of the night with AJ pulling it off.
Very possible.
But Cedric pulling at the heartstrings.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think AJ holds the title. I do think this is a bridge for AJ to get back to Ricochet at some point later in the year, honestly.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm. All right, this match doesn't make any sense because of the whole idea of this whole pay-per-view is champions, and whatnot, putting the title on the line. Champions, but yet we have Roman Reigns against Eric Rowan, no title on the line, and just as of yesterday, or as of Tuesday rather, at the SmackDown, this is now a no disqualification match. I actually am intrigued with this match. Eric Rowan, pretty much emancipated from Daniel Bryan, destroyed Roman Reigns 2 weeks ago on SmackDown. This might be I guess my only thing is this whole storyline about who tried to kill Roman Reigns, attack Roman Reigns in his career. So Eric Rowan's the guy? Are we just satisfied that Eric Rowan is the guy that did this? I feel there's more to the story.
No. This is like the most useless storyline that WWE has going on.
Now it's useless, yeah.
And you know what made it worse?
What?
Weeks of everything. For the last month and a change, it seems like forever, they had to recap this thing on SmackDown and Raw for 5 minutes of your life every week. It was just, I didn't care after a while. I really don't care about this beef. And the fact that the announcers got to say Rowan and Roman, that's just going to be a tongue twister for them the whole night. It's just, I don't know. I think this is a waste of time, to be totally honest. Yeah. And this is Vince just because he wants Roman on the pay-per-view. Yeah. Because everyone knows Roman is Vince's guy. He wants to build around Roman eventually. I'll tell you, Roman really hasn't, I don't think he's grabbing at the fans like Vince wants him to. And I think that's been the problem. And eventually, I think people are going to get tired of Roman again. Yep. Honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a nice guy. I mean, he has the look. I think fans have chosen who they want to root for. Exactly. And Roman's the guy they're siding with because no one's going to side with Roman. That's it.
Gee, the only good thing about the storyline is this. This gave Buddy Murphy a push. That's it. It gave Buddy Murphy. That's all it did.
I mean, and it sucks. I actually liked Rowan with Daniel Bryan. I thought that was a great partnership.
Who knows?
And I really hope this doesn't make Daniel Bryan a face again because he's such a better heel and so great as a heel. Mm-hmm. I hope this doesn't make Daniel Bryan a face.
Right. Roman Reigns should win this match anyway. I mean, I'm glad to give Eric Rowan a chance to push on his own as a singles wrestler.
Yeah, give him something.
But I mean, Roman gonna lose this match? Hell no, probably not. All right, next one here. We got about 15 minutes. Raw Tag Team Championships is going to be Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. I kind of like what they're doing with Ziggler here. Finally, give him a home somewhere else. Give him something to do. Him and Roode together, not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, whatever. I would like to see Roode and Ziggler take the belts. I think Roode and Ziggler are two of the more talented guys on the roster. I think Ziggler has jobbed enough for the last 2 months to put a belt around his waist. Yeah. I think Ziggler has put a lot. I don't want to think people over because he's been fighting big names. But I think Ziggler has taken enough bumps and enough clean falls as one of their true heels on the roster. I think he's done enough of that to at least let the guy get a tag team championship reign. And I think him and Bobby Roode is a great team up. They're both obnoxious, both really athletic. I mean, I love Bobby Roode as the heel. Bobby Roode is so much throwback of a wrestler to me. It's just fun to watch him.
I love him.
And he's great, Bobby Roode. And I just think their personalities mesh well together. And I think if WWE does it right, you let them hold these belts for a while together.
I'll be honest with you, bro. The more people despise Dolph Ziggler and don't care about Dolph Ziggler, the more I like him.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Let me say, remember I said, Dolph and Baron are their best heels, and they had these guys losing clean pins, and it was really frustrating. Yeah. It was just, the faces for a while were just winning. It's like, that's really boring. It's not cool at all. You gotta have the heels win, even if they have to cheat to win. At least have them win. But I think it's gonna be one of those things where Ziggler, I think Seth's going to probably kick Braun by accident, knock him out, and it's going to start a beat for the championship match. That's what I think.
I actually think Ziggler and Roode wins the championship here.
Yeah.
I can't see Seth and Braun holding the belt beyond Sunday. So okay, and I was going to get to Seth and Braun in a second for their match. SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair against Bayley. Bayley's heel turn. We'll say this much, though. More people give a shit about Bayley now as a heel than as a face. I will say that. So that's worse.
Is she a heel? It's the most confusing thing. Like, let's be honest. Because if she was a heel, she would stop giving high fives to fans, hugging them, and stop with those stupid inflatable people. Like, if she was really a heel, all that stuff. Like, Bayley is the most useless superstar of the WWE roster. I am so sick of Bayley. No, and it's funny because the angles that they're hitting is that Bayley's here to give a shot to people. Bayley, you're one of the 4 horsewomen. Like, you've been up there because Charlotte Flair is your best friend. Like if people just knew the truth, which they all do, you, Becky, Charlotte, and Sasha are all buddies. And you guys are the only ones that matter right now. So, like, I'm tired of Bayley. I think Bayley is the worst. She shouldn't be on TV.
She'll lose. She's losing on Sunday.
I cringe every time she comes on TV. It's just uncomfortable. She's corny on the mic. There's no reason why Charlotte doesn't become the 10-time champ. Charlotte looks in her best shape of her life, which says a lot.
Yes, she does. And I'll tell you what, though.
Charlotte,
and Gia, someone else. I sent you a text earlier I had to add to the text I sent you earlier. Like, I don't think Charlotte Flair is the hottest woman on the roster, but she's probably the sexiest.
Oh, yeah, she's sexy because you know what it is? That whole thing of confidence is sexy. She walks with a confident aura of herself. And I know it's part of the gimmick, but fuck it, that shit works.
Yeah.
It's not for nothing. It worked for her father. Her father wasn't the most handsome guy in the world, but I'm pretty sure he could go neck to neck with Will Chamberlain with how many girls he had laid.
That's true. Nah, I love Charlotte.
Like, it's the truth, though. Is that, like, Ric Flair wasn't the most handsome guy in the world, but his confidence, girls were never into wrestlers like that. Like, girls were not throwing themselves at wrestlers until Ric Flair was really out there. Right. And Charlotte, and let me tell you, and all this happened because maybe Andrade gave her a lot of boost of confidence because ever since she's been dating him, she looks like she's been working out harder, and she looks so much more confident out there, which says a lot.
I love them together, to be honest with you. I love seeing their Instagram posts.
I love them. And I think Andrade, like you and me have said, Andrade is one of the most talented wrestlers they got on the roster.
Agreed.
He can fight with anybody.
Agreed.
Anybody.
Agreed. I agree with you there.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I really hope they don't rip off Charlotte and just let Charlotte win this clean.
Well, and it's in her hometown, too, so I think Charlotte wins it also as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Raw's Women's Championship, Becky Lynch against Sasha Banks. It's the other half of the 4 horsewomen. I love the angle. Sasha Banks come back with a vengeance and, fucking shit up, right now at Raw. I can't see Becky losing this title, but I think there could be a lot of gaga here. In other words, a lot of, outside interference and all that. Something's going to happen here. I think Becky will win this match, but it may not be clean.
Let me tell you, I have mixed emotions in this match because I've been telling you, remember I've been telling you need to look up Sasha Banks. You need to see her wrestling matches with Charlotte Flair. Sasha Banks is the real deal. I'm just telling you, Sasha Banks is legit. When she came back, I was ecstatic. She still looked amazing. She kept herself in shape, looked amazing. I love the blue look. I have mixed emotions over here because this goes back to last month when you and me were talking. I want to see Becky and how she does without the belt because I think Becky doesn't need the belt.
That's a good point. You did mention some stuff to me. Yes, right.
And we've seen the greats, and I'm not saying great, but if you're going to be great, that's one of the things. We've seen Macho Man, Hogan, Stone Cold, Rock, Shawn Michaels, all without a belt, still be at least the second most important match on a pay-per-view.
Yep.
And those are facts. If you're one of the best, you don't need the belt.
That's true.
And I think the way Becky is everywhere right now. Like, remember, Becky wasn't supposed to be the one, man, which makes it a great story. Becky wasn't supposed to be this. She even said out of everybody in the 4 horsewomen, she was the underdog. She wasn't supposed to be the one to be this big. She changed up her gimmick, and it's been killer. So, and I think not for nothing, let Sasha have the belt, because Sasha's great in the ring. And her mic skills are one of the best in the women's division. So you let Sasha do it, and you get that heel champion, because Charlotte's like a weird heel, because people love Charlotte. She's, like you and me always said, she's her father, reincarnated. She's her father born again, pretty much. Because because she's a heel, but everybody appreciates what she does, so she doesn't really get booed that harshly. You know, Sasha is going to be a great heel, and I'm leaning for Sasha to win the belt.
Me too.
Because I think if Sasha gets this win over Becky, and it won't be clean. It won't be. You know, it won't be a clean pin. It might be Bayley interfering. Might be something crazy.
I just feel like it's too soon. I just feel like
I'm hoping Nia Jax comes back, punches Becky in the mouth.
I do
then
think
you can have a
right.
Becky and Nia beef.
Mm-hmm. I do think that with
you know, I you can do anything.
No, with Sasha, you know, I think it'd be better if she wins the belt, but I don't see the company taking out Becky this early. You see all the promos at ESPN, and she's like the face of the, other face of this company. I think it's too soon. I think the company might think it's too soon to take the belt off her. I do think you can get another month or two out of this rivalry, though.
And what I will say is, I remember when Rock was the guy, and there was a long period Rock didn't have the belt, and Rock was everywhere, and he was really just beefing with Triple H for maybe 6 months.
Yep.
And that was a great rivalry. Him and Triple H was probably one of my favorite rivalries.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they were so polar opposite of each other, but they were great on the mic. And I remember and what they did, Rock just kept on getting robbed. Like Triple H just kept hitting the Rock with a damn sledgehammer. It seemed every week.
Yeah.
It seemed every week Triple H was hitting Rock with, and you could do that with Becky. You know,
one thing about The Rock, though, I will tell you, Rock knew how to put guys over really well.
Oh yeah, he did. And I think that's the problem in the women's division. I think Charlotte's the only person able to put people over right now.
Right.
You know, because Alexa is actually decorated. You know, she's had the belt a couple of times. When she loses, she's a pipsqueak, so she should lose. She's like 4'10".
Yeah.
You know, so when she loses, it's kind of expected. You know,
right.
It's like they only have her, and if Sasha is back to her full self, Sasha could be the person. But right now, you can't have Sasha putting people over because Sasha needs to get her feet back in the game.
Right. Okay. Hopefully Sasha wins, but I think Becky's gonna win anyway. All right, we got 5 minutes before we get out of here. WWE Championship on the line. Randy Orton, Kofi Kingston, the rematch from SummerSlam. I love this rivalry. I won't lie, it wouldn't shock me if Kofi loses the title this weekend, but I don't know. Again, just like Becky, I don't know if the company's ready to take it off Kofi just yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting tired of Kofi Kingston's angle. I like Kofi as a wrestler.
Me too.
But I'm getting tired of the whole, I've worked 11 years. But I'm just tired of it. Just talk about your opponent. You know? Just talk about your opponent. Like, I don't care about your 10 years ago. I don't give a shit. You know? And Kofi's great in the ring with anybody. He carries a match. He's great. I want to see Randy Orton get at least one more title run before he's done. You know? And it's very weird because if you noticed on Raw, when Kofi got the better of Randy Orton, there was mixed cheers and boos.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because fans do love Randy Orton hasn't been a face in fucking, 5 years?
Right.
Randy Orton's been just an asshole loner. And fans just love him because he's a badass. Like I said last month, Randy Orton, no matter where he goes, is the coolest guy in the room. You know? And that's never going to change. I would love to see Randy, because my thinking is, have Randy Orton win it, have him lose it next month even. Like, I just want to see Randy Orton win the championship clean against somebody, and you can have this beef go on. Have them do a Hell in a Cell or something. Anything. You can have them go out in a blaze of glory and end the rivalry. I want to see Randy Orton with the belt again. I think he deserves it. Because other than that, what else is there for Randy Orton?
That is true.
You know, like, who else is he going to beef with? You know, he did the AJ Styles things, you know. I mean, there's really nothing else for him. You know, so I think he needs to win this. Kofi doesn't need to win this match. He can win the belt again next month even, or 2 months after that.
That's Survivor Series, yeah.
Remember, there's still New Day shit going on. You know, Kofi doesn't really need it.
That's true. I'm actually, I'll be honest, I'm going to pick Orton to win this match.
Yeah, I'm with you. I hope Orton wins.
Well, I don't hope he wins. I think it's going to happen. And I think by doing that, you put more juice into the rivalry. It can extend another month or two, and then maybe Survivor Series gets it back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can stretch it down, man.
Yeah, it's all about filling time. That's all it is. All right, and finally, the Universal Championship pitting Seth Rollins and his tag team partner earlier tonight, Braun Strowman. I am happy Braun is getting a little push here. It does feel like 2 years too late.
Exactly.
It does feel 2 years too late, unfortunately. I don't see Seth losing this title. I think he can get back from Brock Lesnar last month at SummerSlam. So I'm going to go Seth, of course, here. And I don't know, maybe Braun Braun's a babyface, obviously, so I don't see him turning heel at all here at any point in this pay-per-view. So I think Seth Rollins wins this title, and then that's it.
Yeah, I mean, they've already labeled Seth like the Beast Slayer, so this would just add to that resume. They need Seth run as you and me, because,
Yeah.
And one, Samoa Joe, everybody. He's just had a great run. I think Randy Orton, sorry. I think Seth needs this win. I think he'll get it. I think it's a good spot, too, because you're going to have Braun get injured early, and Seth being like the architect, so to speak, just focusing on that injury. There's a lot of ways you could do it where Braun doesn't look like a pussy at the end of it.
Right.
Because I forgot who talked to me. I think my wife's uncle told me that Big Show actually said the biggest mistake of his career is taking a bump to a little guy. Like getting knocked out by Rey Mysterio. It's the worst thing a big guy could do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you gotta be careful with Strowman. Yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst look. I hate it. It's just stupid. But yeah, so with Braun Strowman, I think with the way Seth Rollins, they kind of made him like a mini Triple H. Like he's an architect. He knows how to work injuries and stuff. So I think we'll see that in the match and see Seth put away Braun Strowman, and Braun just looking disappointed in himself. And if they do it right, Braun Strowman will still be a fan favorite. But Braun Strowman could really end up in one of those territories where this is his pinnacle right here.
Yeah, and that's my fear. I think what they're trying to do here, Braun, is to make him main event status here some degree by putting on two big matches and trying to see what they can do with Braun moving forward. I think it's their attempt to try to make Braun more of a main event factor, if you will.
Yeah. You know what I want to say, though, to WWE? Really, really fucking up shop. There is no sign of The Fiend on this pay-per-view. The fans love The Fiend. Give them The Fiend.
You never know. He may pop up. He may pop up as an extra somewhere else. You never know.
He's got I actually, this girl I follow on Twitter, she's a wrestling person. She told me that on SmackDown in the dark match, the B team fought The Fiend. That's what I don't get. And I know Bray Wyatt's pissed them off in the past, because for whatever reason, he just pissed them off in the past. I think because he cheated on his wife with the ring announcer or whatever.
Yes,
but whatever the case is, the fans love the old Bray Wyatt gimmick, and they ruined that for him. And now Bray Wyatt got this Fiend thing. The merchandise is selling.
Well, it is. And I think also
usually that's what does it for a push. If your merchandise is selling, then it's to put you out there. I don't get it.
I think it's also the fear that if you give too much of the Fiend this early, that it wears out. They're going to make it more situational, which I actually do like what they're doing here. Make it more of an impact.
But a whole pay-per-view? Like really? Like it's not like he wrestles on TV either. All they do is the shop, the shop.
The Five House?
And then, all they do is that.
Those are
and
genius.
And then you're not going to have him on a match on a pay-per-view? Like, granted, if he shows up, great. I want to see him wrestle. He had a match with Finn Balor 2 months ago now. It's going to be 2 months after the next pay-per-view. And it's like, I don't get it. I don't get what they're doing with The Fiend. I don't understand why Bray Wyatt gets the short end of the stick. I don't get it.
Right. Anyway, that's the Clash of Champions predictions and preview. G, before I let you go, I got to go in like 2 minutes. Anything on the plug?
Bears Brawl Podcast. Follow it on Twitter. Follow it on Twitter at the Twitter handle, the Bears Brawl. And available everywhere where you stream podcasts.
Be in Vegas.
Also, check out the Beat in Vegas podcast, which is my podcast focused on college betting. Last week went 5 for 6 because I'm a monster.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully I get that one recorded because Life with a Baby Boy was different. It's different.
Yeah,
So I'm
I
not sure
See?
if I'm even going to get to it today.
See?
What?
I can relate to you, buddy. So, G, we'll talk soon. Hopefully next couple weeks we'll do shooting the shit. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see what's up with that superstar, the beautiful Rosalind Ross.
That's right. She's doing big things right now, man. So.
All right, DJ. I'll talk to you, man.
All right, buddy. Be good.